You're listening to Dwan B. Intelligent ish talk, intelligent shit talk, where we balance the profound with the profane. Political satire, celebrity and expert guests, information and entertainment, conversation and solutions. Leave your feelings at the door.
What up, y'all? I know I came in before the countdown, but I got tired of waiting. We are here. And the Black American music family tree is here also. They will be up for sale on incenseandashtrays.com the beginning of next week. The t-shirts, the posters, and the canvas. I just had to do a few edits to it, you know what I mean? I had to do a few edits. I had to make sure I brought in my acid funk rock. That's what my man Thundercats over here doing out here on the West Coast. And I had to add hippie soul. Salute to J-Mo, Charlie Burrell. A hippie kind of sounding soul, but it's black hippie. It's for your weed smoking, relax type people. You dig? Cause hey, I'm a hippie. I know. Look. Yes, I'm very hippie-ish. I remember when I met J-Mo, when I met him through Craig was like, man, y'all might be cool, man, cause y'all both a couple hippies. I'm like, man, fuck you, calling me a hippie. Didn't have to think about it. I was like, damn, I kind of am. We're gonna be talking about the DL Hughley Monique situation today, and it is part of Black Music Month. We're celebrating Black Music Month all month here on the show. You're asking me, what does this have to do with Black Music Month? Well, stand-up comedy is also music. It has a rhythm, it has a pace. It has a tempo, it has a groove, it has a feel. Now, it don't have the notes behind it, but it's a lyrical interpretation of the absurdities of life. As you see on my music family tree here, look in this small little vein right there. You see stand-up comedy. Why do you see stand-up comedy? Because stand-up comedy was created in its modern form in the Chitlin circuit, black entertainment clubs. Artists couldn't just come to town and play a guitar. You had to know how to play a guitar. You had to know how to sing, you had to know how to dance, and you had to make the audience laugh. You entertaining people who are sharecroppers. You entertaining people who got to carry water from the well. You entertaining people who got to dig ditches all week. So if you're entertaining those people, you better be more than just one thing. You got to do it all. So yes, the art of stand-up comedy, a lot of people don't know, comes from the music venues, the music joints. Before I get into the show today, I got a couple advertisements I want to run from loyal sponsors of the show, both named Simon, but two way different industries and two way different people. I'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is my Simon Vision Media. Simon Vision Media.
1910 alignment dinner and mini workshop coming to Drop Squad Kitchen in Wilmington, Delaware on June the 19th from 6 to 9 p.m. featuring King Simon, the international numerovator, alongside Ellison Nedra, the modern day sage, with special guests Lloyd Strayhorn, the world-renowned astronumerologist, all happening in Delaware, Wilmington, Delaware at the Drop Squad Kitchen, June the 19th from 6 to 9 p.m. Make sure you text 347-496-1022 for details. That's 347-496-1022.
Yeah, hit up King Simon. That brother got that numerology on deck. I'm telling y'all. You give that brother your birthday, and he gonna read your whole life, up, down, all around. And also get in contact with Simon Vision Media for those of you who do graphics. Also, he's also available for weddings, graduations. We in graduation season, interviews, and more. Anything that has to do with a camera, video recording, my man Simon Vision Media will get your stuff right and tight. SimonVisionMedia.com. All right, y'all, we here to talk about Monique checks the Bootlick DL Hughley. What's up to everybody in the chat room on YouTube, everybody on Twitter, everybody on Facebook, Twitch. We all over the place today, so I want to thank y'all for joining the chat rooms. I may not get to see all your chats because I got like 5 chat rooms going in one box, so sometimes everybody don't get through, but I will see you, hopefully, in the chat room. Say what's up. I see my man Gary O'Neill on checking in on Facebook, American Negro on YouTube, Quan S, James on Twitch. What's up, Lady B over on YouTube, Tasha Ray. Nino Black. Oh, you got your notification today. That's what's up. But we're here to talk about Monique. I didn't want to, I said some things on Instagram and Facebook, but I didn't really go all the way into this topic because I wanted to let it play out a little more. You know, I cracked a few lighthearted jokes when it first came in. But I wanted to let it play out more so we can get more of the truth before I jumped all the way into it. Because as you guys know, if you follow me, I am impartial. I don't fuck with DL Hughley at all. Not only because of his bootlick and political stances, but also because he got me kicked off Twitter for a while. Because he wanted to crack a few jokes on me. A couple of lame fat jokes, and then when I got back at him, the heat was too hot. So he had to kick his brother off Twitter for a little while. I'm back though. I got my Twitter account back. First time it ever happened to me on Twitter. Because I don't even be on Twitter like that. Like I've just started getting back on Twitter like in the last year. Twitter's just a place that I, check the news and kind of go the other direction. But, DL Hughley, I've never met the man. Well, I have seen him in person, but I never met the man personally. We've been in the same room. I've never walked and said anything because as DL Hughley, there's like not nobody to walk and say anything to. It's just, hey, cool. So, me knowing my bias, I didn't want to jump too on it. So I wanted to let them both talk it out and hear what happened from their points of view. I wanted to do that before I dove all the way into this topic. So what we gonna do now is, let me break that for those, because there's people out there who may not know what happened. I'm going to tell you what happened, and then we're going to listen to DL Hughley's response and part of Monique's response. What happened was, this past Saturday, there was a comedy show in Detroit. And at that show, DL Hughley looks like was told that he would be headlining. And Monique was also told that she would be headlining. It seems as if there may have been a conflict between what the promoters said and what they did. So, in the middle of that fallout, there's a misunderstanding, and Monique chose to go directly at DL. Monique was told in her paperwork that she was headlining. DL was told in his paperwork that his. The interesting thing is this. What DL posted was basically the agreement, not the contract. Monique, it seems as if she posted what the contract was signatures, initials. DL posted more so an agreement. But there still can be a disagreement. I understand. I get it. So Monique goes on stage at the show and goes about eviscerating DL Hughley. God damn, these potential spam calls. Am I the only one that get these? Seems like every 30 minutes, potential spam on the phone. Back to my. So it looks as if there was some sort of disagreement, and Monique goes on stage and eviscerates DL Hughley. So DL Hughley had a short response on stage, and then he had his own response on his radio show. I'm going to play a little bit of what DL had to say, and then I'm going to go ahead and play Monique's response to that. Let me see. Let me hear. Can y'all hear? No, y'all can't hear that.
I only work where I want to work and who I want to work with.
All right, this is DL Hughley.
Work with. I don't work because that is a very precious place to me. I've been offered a gig a couple to work with Monique in LA, in Brooklyn, in Houston, and I turned them down because I didn't think it would work. So after talking to a lot of people, and one of the very people in this room about how things are different, two of the very people in this room, as a matter of fact, and how things are different, and look at how things are coming around, I decided it would be wrong for me not to give somebody a chance based on things that they'd never done to me. That would have been wrong to me. And when she talks, she goes on her diatribe and she talks about me having my feet under her table. That was at her invitation. I was doing a gig in Greenbelt, Maryland. She lived in Baltimore. She was having a fight party. It was, I think, Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson. And sure enough, I came to her table at her invitation. And it was a wonderful time. As a matter of fact, it was based on that interaction, along with talking to people, I decided that I would do these gigs. I decided I would do it. And now I know what Tyler Perry knows. I know what Lee Daniels knows. I know what Oprah knows. I know what Steve Harvey knows. I know what Charlamagne the God knows. I know what Netflix knows. Saying yes to Monique is an occupational hazard.
See, let's start off with that right there. This dude here, anytime you have a one-on-one issue with somebody and you start bringing up other people's names, that's usually the person that's full of shit. Usually. Why are you talking about them? This is between you and her. Her and you. Why are you talking about Lee Daniels? I think her and Lee Daniels done made up. Correct me if I'm wrong. Why are you talking about Oprah? Why are you over here trying to get the cavalry on your side, homie? You don't need the cavalry. Just speak for you. if it has merit. Let's keep going.
Now, we go to, we're playing a gig in Detroit this weekend. I know I'm going on at 9:45. I leave the hotel. I get there around 9. Monique had just gotten there. She's supposed to be there at 8:40. She had just gotten there.
I want to address something somebody said in the chat room. And I appreciate your comment, Mark Savoy. You said, I don't know, Dwan, you were speaking about patterns yesterday. It seems like a pattern with her. And that's something that we're going to get to later on in Monique's response. It is a pattern. But a pattern against who? See, we as black people, we talk a lot about gatekeepers. We talk a lot about these people that speak for massa, these people that are in the way, these people that do things that are harmful to the greater good of black society. These people given token positions. Who is Monique going at? Is she going at people? Or is she going at a certain group of people who tend to go and hang out in the same crowd? Who tend to be funded by the same white people? Who is she going at? We got to see if we take it at a surface level, yes, Monique can't get along with anybody. But if we take a closer look at who she can't get along with, it tends to be the same type people in the same type situations. That's the pattern I see. Now, everyone is entitled to their point of view. I respect everyone's point of view. I don't believe, that I have the supreme point of view. It's just my point of view in this 360 degrees of information that we have out here. I have one point of view. So when I take a deeper look at it, I'm seeing a woman, and let me tell you about Monique. I've never been a fan of Monique's work. I never liked her style of comedy. I did not like Precious. I couldn't watch no more than 5 minutes of it. I hated The Parkers. I couldn't stand that show. The first thing Monique did that I liked was when she had that talk show on BET. Because she interviewed and did a profile on the movie The Five Heartbeats. Man, that Monique, she had a lot of great guests. I didn't like the way when she hosted, it sounded like she's screaming to the mic. Like every time the show came on, she'd be, hey. And then like her underarms would be flapping like bat wings. It looked like she had choir robes on, but that was just her arms. Monique, I'm a comedian too, Monique. I'm just cracking jokes. I'm just saying that I was not the biggest Monique fan. I started to become more of a Monique fan over the last few years because Monique seemed to be calling out the same style of Negro. Oprah. She ain't never been good for us. She helped push the feminist agenda on black women. She marginalized black men throughout her whole career, down to the point of not even having Ice Cube on her show when she did a whole profile on a movie that he did because basically at the end of the day, Ice Cube's a man that stands on his, and so she wasn't rocking with it. She called out Steve Harvey, Mr. Women Need to Be a Woman and Think Like a Man or whatever, writing a book on relationships when he couldn't seem to keep one intact without divorcing on to the next one. Then he ended up going through 2 divorces and then ended up marrying a former the girlfriend of the wife of a drug dealer who went to jail, who had a baby by his brother. Yeah. So I'm not, at the end of the day, that's his choice. I'm not here to judge him, but I'm also not here to see, I'm not sure if that's who I want to be getting relationship advice from. She went in on Lee Daniels, somebody who can't seem to make a movie without somebody's booty hole getting dug into. Like, dude, like you got to have dookie activities in everything that you do, man. You can't just tell a story. She went on Tyler Perry, and she's been telling the same story. I'm not, Tyler. I'm not a fan of his work. I don't have much bad to say about Tyler Perry. I'm not a big fan of his work. I don't really have anything bad to say about him. But he's in that same class. He is on Oprah. He's with them. He's with them folks. And anybody who listens to me regularly, you know that I'm all about the betterment of our people. And I'm not down with black people who use their platform to speak white narratives. See, in the last 30 years, they could no longer have, Walter Cronkite come out and say these things about black people. They got to pay a black person to do it. And that's what they do. They pay black people to shit on other black people. They pay black people to produce and film degenerate movies about black people. Hey, Lee Daniels presents. Oh, shit. That means we about to have a subservient Negro, a good boy. Either that, or it's going to be some dookie activities. We're going to have an overbearing black woman, basically Mammy, which is basically what Monique played in Precious. She basically played a mean Mammy. Usually Mammy is nice and accommodating. Yes, massa. But Monique played a mean Mammy. When I get into public disputes, I don't get into these public disputes for the gossip. I get into these public disputes for the lessons. Because whenever there's a public dispute, especially a dispute that attracts a lot of eyes, that's because there's an undertone of a human story there. There's a lesson to be learned there. You can either learn the lesson or you can get caught up in the gossip and take sides and play friends. I take the side of what's true and what's honest. Whatever Monique's intent behind calling out Netflix, behind doing what she does and calling out different people, she did that at great personal risk. And she called out things that needed to be called out. Is she the perfect messenger? No. But how do I end every broadcast that I do for the last 2.5 years? There are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages for those who are willing to pick up the game. When you start attacking the messenger, that's called an ad hominem. That's a fallacy. Attacking the messenger does nothing when it comes to getting to the truth of the message. You have to focus on the message. Because at the end of the day, we don't know any of these niggas we see on TV. None of them. Basketball player, football player, comedian, actor, singer, rapper, whatever. All we know is the character they put on when the camera turns on. That's all we know. And everyone has their line of where they feel what they feel is decent and what they don't feel is decent. My line is, You could play whatever character you want to play in public as long as that character doesn't undermine the progress of black people. When your character starts to speak out against the public good of black people, now we have an issue because now you're stepping on my shoes. DL Hughley. DL Hughley seems to be somebody who has words for everything and everybody on his little talk show. But when confronted, he ain't got much to say. So Monique, what she did was she didn't wait for her little YouTube show. She did it in front of him before he had to go on. And one thing about me, I like nothing more than somebody who's willing to say to someone's face in the same room someone is in what they want to say. I give a little more credit to them than I do somebody who's going to go off into their corner and say one thing, but then when they see him, say something different. At the end of the day, Monique is a woman who stands on her square. And one thing I can say, she's been very vocal about her disagreements with Tyler Perry and all them for about, I've been paying attention to it for about 3 or 4 years now. I don't know how long it's been going on. Because I honestly, again, I don't care about none of these motherfuckers. I don't watch Tyler Perry movies. I don't watch Lee Daniels movies. Oprah, never. Will Packer movies are cool, you know what I mean? But he ain't really, Girl Trip. I never watched that. Like, entertainment, the movie industry of the last 10 years, let's just tell the truth, sucks. It ain't been no funny comedies. They don't want to greenlight. They didn't want to greenlight last Friday when Jonathan Witherspoon was alive and Debo was alive. They don't want to integrate the good stuff. They don't want to not say integrate. They don't want to fund the good stuff like that and put that out there. The movie industry, like the music industry, for the most part for the last 10, 15 years, has been putting out bullshit. So me personally, I have no connection with any of these motherfuckers. All right? I don't. And if they either of them hear them, respect to both of y'all. Y'all do what y'all do. This is just my objective point of view. But I've been listening to DL Hughley. And I've been listening to Monique and what they talk about since they've had their own platforms. Since Monique has been on YouTube and since DL has been in radio. I don't listen to his show a whole lot because he ain't got much to talk about. But every now and again, I'll tune in and just get the vibration of what's going on. But when I would listen to Monique, the whole time I've been listening to her, has been telling the same story. She hasn't changed her story. She's been consistent with her story. And she's been very targeted with her story. She's been very targeted with who she has issues with and why, where, and how. That's how you can determine if someone's possibly telling the truth. When they answer who, what, when, where, and why. The same formula we learned in elementary school when we learned how to write essay format in elementary school. You had to learn how to answer the who, what, when, where, and why. Every time Monique speaks on the people that she has an issue with, she answers who, what, when, where, and why. When I hear that, at that point, it doesn't matter that I don't like her movies. It doesn't matter that I don't really like her stand-up. What I do like is what I see someone here that has a set of principles and they're standing on those principles. And every time it's time to stand on those principles, she literally says the same thing. She's not one day saying it's this and the next day saying it's that. And the thing that she's saying is all based in the contract, what was written, versus what they asked her to do. She appears to be a woman from my appearance, from what appears. If it's written down in the contract, she's down with it. If it ain't in the contract, she ain't with it. Which is how we should all be. Think about it when you for those of you who have day jobs. You get a day job, your job say do A, B, and C. But by your 6th month on that job, it's like, okay, now do D. Now you've been on that job 9 months. Now do E. You look up 3-4 years later, your job was one thing, but because you said yes to a whole bunch of shit they ain't paying you to do, now you doing all this other stuff. And now you mad. Now you frustrated with your job. Now you want to either get a promotion or demand a raise or quit and find a new job. When really, if you just said no to all this extra stuff they was throwing on top, you wouldn't be as stressed. We all deal with that. The difference is most people just take what people give them. It's some of us out here that say, no, 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 no. We agreed to 1, 2, 3. I'm more than willing to do 1, 2, and 3 to 100% of my ability. I'll give you 110%. 1, 2, 3. Now you asking me to do 4, 5, and 6. We gonna have to renegotiate our contract. We gonna have to refigure out how this money gonna work. That's how we should be. And if we were like that, these corporations wouldn't be able to get over on us so easily. But we tend to take whatever's given to us. And Monique seems to be someone who stands up and says, no, I'm going to do what we asked, but I'm not doing it anymore. And I respect that. I don't have to like it. I don't have to like you. It's not about who I like or who I dislike. It's about the principle. Let's play a little more DL Hughley whining.
What Monique was trying to do was to actually felt like she had merit. She was actually felt like she had merit. She would have done one of 3 things. Either she would have took it up with the promoter, and she did, and the promoter said, we're going on, and whether you're going or not, that's a different thing. You would have not done it, but she knew she had to get on stage, or she would be in breach of contract, or she would have come to talk to me. She didn't ever, and I emphatically emphasize this, she never once talked to me. I haven't seen Monique in years. I didn't see her at the venue before, after, or during. I haven't spoken or seen Monique. So if you really thought that you had a legitimate contract dispute, you would have come to me and said, hey, I have...
Nuh-uh. She wouldn't go to DL. She would go to the promoter. The promoter's the one that put that shit together, not you. Who are you? Now listen to this more explaining this nigga doing.
You ask in subsequent conversations why I have a dog, a support dog. What kind of person has a support dog? I have that dog because my father died. My children and family decided they would get a dog from where he was from, and I named the dog after my father. I don't have a dog to keep people away from me. I have a dog so I have my father with me all the time. That is an act of love.
Again, you throwing in other people, man. You and Monique got an issue. Why you talking about your dad and his dog? That's kind of weak. Monique came at you. And that's how you respond? Let's listen to a little bit about what Monique said about the situation, her response to DL Hughley. One second, y'all. Let me get to the right part. Here we go.
Talk about all that I'm not, what I didn't deserve. I was mentally ill. I was bitter. Me and my husband did poor business. I was selfish. I was fanatic. I was psychotic. Now, don't take my word, please. You can Google it for yourself, YouTube it for yourself. DL Hughley speaks on Monique. And through the years, my babies, I said nothing because I knew the day would come that I would see DL Hughley. Now, for every interview he's done, I didn't get it from nobody else's mouth. I watched it for myself. And I watched this brother sit down with that white cat, Vlad, and tell this white man all that I wasn't, as the white man told him all that me and my husband wasn't. And I watched DL Hughley go in. Now, it ain't that he just goes in on me. DL Hughley has a habit of saying freely what he wants to say about anybody.
Ice Cube.
Come on.
Angela Stanton.
Come on. Kanye West. Like the young babies.
Islam.
The young babies, the rappers, Young Thug and Gunna.
Yeah.
See, and let me tell y'all, when I made that joke about you, DL Hughley, I didn't think you would get tender in your feelings because you made the comment about the baby stage names and you said with names like that, don't you think they would wind up in jail? Well, that's what you said. Well, I thought I was coming back being clever, making a joke because you know back in the day when somebody was on the DL, you know what they were. I don't think you're a homosexual man, DL. I was making a joke and I can't believe you got tender. Saturday night, DL Hughley was going to get his ass handed to him because through the years, I've heard this man have a lot to say about me. And what the type of person I am, if y'all don't know by now, I wasn't going on nobody's radio show talking about how I felt towards DL Hughley. I wasn't going on nowhere. I was going to make sure the night that I spoke about DL Hughley, I wanted DL Hughley to be there. So that night, DL, what you got back was the medicine that you've dished out to our community for so long through the years. If you watch the video of what I said, if you watch that video, I didn't say anything insulting in reference to that man's family, nor his beautiful wife. What I said is I feel sorry for your family. I feel sorry for your wife. Now, the other part that I said, y'all know what it was, and I'm going to leave it on the stage.
But to be specific, without being specific, you essentially said, I feel sorry for your wife having to perform a sexual act on a coward.
That's exactly.
How do you perform a sexual act on a coward? There is nothing that was said about your wife.
Nothing.
Your family.
Nothing.
It was directed specifically to you.
I could have not gone out on that stage.
Well, why did you?
Because I love the people. I don't take those people for granted. I don't take the people for granted that may have paid their last dollar to buy a ticket to a show that I'm a part of. I don't take those people for granted that said, you know what, tonight I need to come out and release this. I don't take those people for granted. So I could have not gone out on that stage. But because of the people, I walked out on that stage and I said that to the people. So when y'all say, well, why didn't she go out? Because that's just not the type of woman I am. DL Hughley was going to get his ass handed to him. Because once y'all go back all through the interviews, I'm going to be shocked. I will be shocked if y'all say, Mo, I'm surprised you didn't get this, brother, a lot sooner, because it went on for years. Pay attention. See, when you run your mouth about other people and you don't know who you running up into, and then you get to running into a brick wall, and then you want to play victim and fall out and act like you've been damaged, come on. Like I said, I feel sorry for your family, brother. And DL, let me address you on this, brother. When you say It's what you're doing right now. See, you've made people believe I've stopped being a stand-up comedian. I've never stopped being a stand-up comedian, baby. I've been out there on that road doing my thing the whole time. So stop trying to put a false narrative out there. That's Steve Harvey's big word. Stop trying to put a false narrative out there that, oh, I just disappeared. No, brother, Hollywood doesn't stop the show.
So there you go. When I heard Monique come back like that, I was like, shit. Because at first, when I gave it to you, I first heard DL's response, and I was like, you know, at the end of the day, I don't have an issue. I have an issue with DL, but I do have a heart. I was like, yeah, he do got a good point. You know, she didn't have to talk about his dog. Dang, yeah, man. Ooh, the contracts are the same. Ooh, yeah, I was thinking some of that. But I also know that DL Hughley, based on his public actions, like I said, I don't know him personally, but based on his public actions, I also seen he's a weasel. His public persona is very weaselish. He talks shit about people, like what he did with Ice Cube, being basically the Democrats' front boy, Bootlick. This what DL had going. Again, I mean, what Ice Cube had going. See, that's where I have a problem. Ice Cube had a plan to where he's pushing politicians to do right by Black America, and they send DL Hughley out, and he gladly accepts, yes, bossa, I seduce it, sis. Tries to discredit Ice Cube. Now that Biden's in office, been in office for a year and a half now, DL Hughley ain't done nothing to say, hey, Ice Cube, you right. Maybe I should help you. Since I'm with these Democrats, maybe I could use my resources to help you find a way up in there. No. Just on to the next story. Like I played before on this very show, it'll be hard for me to look it up now. Let me see, because it's hard to find. It's really hard to find. It's really hard to find with DL Hughley. This is what made me, for the most part, lose respect. Because he talks all that crap about Bill Cosby and all these other people. But when it come time, here we go. I found it. I found the clip, and I'm right here on the spot. This is DL Hughley's character. This is why I always look twice anytime he has something going on.
Always above reproach. Nobody ever believes him. And then it's always a lot of it. Mm-hmm. And it's always, and the reason it hits home to me is because my youngest daughter said something happened to her. And because it was somebody I like, I didn't believe her. Mm. And I'll never get that back. She'll never, I'm supposed to protect her. And I'll never get that back that she told her father something and he didn't do nothing about it. Because it was inconvenient. So I could see how that could play. Right. And there's so many, everybody wandering around why women are mad and why people are like that. Look at the shit they go through. Yeah. Like when she said on Color Purple, a girl child ain't safe in the family for the minute. That's fucking true. And it's just that he is.
No, nigga. It's true for you. See, and again, I don't respect that. You got an issue. You talking about we. If we talking about, when you talk about you being the king of comedy, you don't say we the king of comedy. You say I'm the king of comedy. You talk about you not stepping up to protect your own family. Now it's we. The black men I know do something to their kids. Try it if you want to. So this is the person that we're dealing with. Somebody who'll do anything it takes to get to the top. And when I heard that, I'm thinking, okay, you in a certain position, you may not want to use weapons or kill anybody. I get that. But did you at least call the authorities? That's not snitching, man. That's your family. New York just passed a law. There's no statute of limitations. And I'm pretty sure here in California, they're going to do something similar pretty soon. That means you can still make that call. Why don't we know who that person is that did this illicit act? Not for gossip, so the next man don't send his daughter around that dirty, slimy motherfucker. You know somebody who's abusing girls and you ain't calling them out. That's a character issue. I'm tired of taking shit for these degenerate men. Why do upstanding men like me, upstanding men like my man Sincere to God in the chat room, Great Black Shark, Nino Black, why we gotta take the brunt of what these sorry motherfuckers don't do? That's why I speak so out against behavior like this, because I want to make it, I am heightening the contradictions. I want to make it clear. Black men with character do not stand with men like DL Hughley. We don't. He doesn't measure up. I don't care how much money if a person makes. You see people all the time. Well, you gonna say something about they worth $1 million? How you gonna say something about them? They made $20 million last year. How you gonna say something? That person's worth $1 billion. The biggest degenerates on earth are worth a lot of money. Fool, that's how these people get these big checks most of the time. Not all the time. There's some people who did it with their ingenuity and genius. South Dave Chappelle. But a lot of these people, when you start seeing people become regulars on CNN, their tweets, they black ass, they started getting retweeted by a whole bunch of white people on political stuff, the liberal left. When you see these old wine and cheese and croissant party ass niggas that are being promoted on mainstream white outlets, usually they did some degeneracy to get to where they are. These motherfuckers they not putting money behind people who got moral compasses. Every now and again, you'll get an Ice Cube that sneaks through. But he came from a day of real rap. Every now and again. But for the most part, when you're dealing with these Negro front people, you're dealing with degenerates. And people who are wealthy in general. There's an old American saying, there is no great fortune that's not tied to a great crime. Every great fortune, whether you're talking about the Rockefellers, the Vanderbilts, the Trumps, the Bidens, the Clintons, all of these great fortunes come with great crimes. So when people go around talking about you can't talk about somebody because they got more money than you, you sound like a dumbass slave. That's how slaves talk. You can't talk about massa. You see how big my master's plantation is? My master's plantation is bigger than Mr. Jim's plantation. It's bigger than Mr. Rooney's plantation. It's bigger than Mr. Roosevelt's plantation. My master got the biggest plantation on earth. My master got 300 slaves. Mr. Johnson down there plantation only got 15s. That's how you sound, nigga. We deal with issues. We deal with things because we got children coming up. We got to focus on the issue at hand. And just because somebody got more money than the next person don't mean that they're the moral authority on that they have the moral high road. No. That's right, Larry. Old master, we sick ass niggas. DL Hughley has had a pattern of going at people who stand for their own, especially Monique. Ever since Monique has been very public about her disputes with Tyler Perry and Oprah and all those people, DL Hughley been the main one on his show going in on her. And it was kind of funny when it first started because, again, I'm not a fan of a lot of Monique's art. I'm not. But when that sister started speaking up, I became a fan of her and her stance on things. I became a fan of her stance against the establishment. That's what I'm a fan of. Monique is here today, gone tomorrow. My question is, who are the next Moniques who are going to stand up? Because when we talk about all this women's rights, women need this, women need that, it ain't going to happen until a woman sacrifices. Same thing when it comes to black people. We can't talk about all the things that we want from the dominant society without being the individual that's willing to sacrifice themselves for it. Curt Flood never profited from bringing free agency to baseball. Sometimes you got to be Curt Flood. Sometimes you have to be willing to be that one that's willing to stand on a principle instead of crying about it all the time. Monique is doing what it takes. What are her motives? People have said this, people have said that. I don't know. I've never talked to Monique directly, and she's never told me. But I'll tell you what I observed from my point of view, what I think her motives are. From my point of view, Monique seems to be someone who's seen a lot of things that she don't like, and she's more than willing to address those things directly, head on. I have nothing but respect for that. DL Hughley, on the other hand, talking about something. Why the hell she thinks she need $10 million because she was a queen of comedy? What, nigga? If she feels what her worth is, why are you gonna sit here and tell her what it ain't? I'm not qualified to tell the next person what they are or are not worth. I can have an opinion, but to sit around and when I see someone else going through a battle, going through a negotiation, going through a fight, it's not my business to get in the middle of that. Especially if the cause she's speaking of is going to be overall good for the greater good. We need more individuals speaking up against these corporations. Netflix just raised their price again after having the highest earning quarter in Netflix history. They raised their price again. They got the money. So to go around in this woman's business and been doing that for years and years and years, you didn't go at her. You didn't invite her onto your show to discuss what she's talking about. You didn't ask her for greater clarity. Let's get into your issue. Let's see what we can do to solve your issue. What can we do to bring more money in for women entertainers and for entertainers in general? Because at the end of the day, a win for you is a win for me. The more we can get these multi-trillion-dollar industries to come off of that money and spread it around, that's good for all of us, top to bottom. Why would you use your platform to speak against someone who's trying to get? When I heard Monique talk, she wasn't trying to just get it for herself. She was talking about women in general. And I'm not the kind of person, because you got a lot of these broke niggas that go around and be like, you already a millionaire. What you crying for? That's that broke nigga babble. I'm not a millionaire, but if I see someone who has $1 million thing going on, I want to see them get all the millions that they deserve. If your product generates $100 million or whatever it generates, I want to see the artist, the entertainer, the designer, the inventor, or whoever it was that created the product get their fair share. It's not about me. It's about we. It's about the collective. It's about people who do things that other people benefit off of, getting a fair share of the work that they put in. And for far too long, the music industry, the movie industry, the comedy industry, entertainment industry, and labor in general, there's been an unfair balance between those who put in the work and those who take all the money. If you work you could have a job that I never heard of. You can be in some kind of oil field mechanic somewhere in the middle of Iowa, whatever. And they have contracts. And I know this oil company's making $100 million a day and you making $20 an hour. And you say, you know what? Damn that. I'm exposed to all these chemicals. I don't want to make $20 an hour. I need to make $60 an hour. I don't have to know a damn thing about what you do. I'm going to support you. Because I see you working for an industry that's bringing in unlimited amounts of cash and they ain't sharing the profits. What kind of sorry son of a bitch are you to go at somebody else for getting what they feel that they deserve? Because you're taking money from the people who siphoning the money from us to begin with. When all the money goes up top, all they do is use that money to keep us all on the bottom, use that money to lobby politicians to create laws that's just going to keep us all on the bottom. So Monique, instead of going around hating on DL Hughley's deals in public, she at a comedy show going on before him. See, it's cold. Here's what made what she did even more cold. She didn't say, because she did have the contract signed, and so far she's been the only one who's furnished a signed contract. DL only showed us like a memo of understanding, like a term sheet. She gave us the contract. He gave us a term sheet. Different things. So, if there's any way to do it publicly, because she doesn't have to go to DL directly. DL broke that rule years ago. When DL went on his show and he went on his Twitter, his Instagram, and publicly undermined Monique's quest for a fair deal from Netflix. When DL Hughley publicly talked bad about her with Steve Harvey on his show and lied. When DL Hughley did all of these things in public without her around, she was justified in publicly going in on his ass. And she did it more gangster than he did. She did it with the mic in her hand, live, in front of DL, in a position to where she knew DL Hughley would get the mic next and he could say whatever he wanted to say and she would not have had the ability to respond. That's gangster if you ask me. Because one thing about comedy, there are no rules. Comedians are the first ones to say that everything is open to be talked about. But comedians are very hypocritical. Comedians also be the same ones that, on one hand, we should be able to talk about anything. But then the minute somebody talk about them, this ain't the right time to do it. She talked about my dog. That's my daddy's dog. Nigga, please. You undercut her money, nigga. That's a rule. That's just a man. That's what I don't like about this shit, man. That's just a man law. As a man, why would I do anything to undercut another man's money, let alone a woman's money? Man, when did we get so low? Not we. I'm not saying those in the chat room. This is a hypothetical question. This is a question I just want everybody to think about for a second. Well, not hypothetical, it's a real question. But I'm just putting it out there. A rhetorical question, I should say. When did it become okay for men to jump in woman business? Let's ask that question again to the men, the deep voices, the ones who take pride in taking care of women, the men who love our women, the men who do anything to protect our women. When did it become okay to jump in woman business? If you think it's a lot of simping going on here, then leave. Your father wasn't around, so you didn't get to what you never heard what it sounds like to hear a real man talk. You sound like you was raised by your mama and 3 aunties in the projects. So you want to hear him. To a nigga like you, what DL Hughley doing is cool. But for the men, when did it ever become okay to jump in woman business? Monique was talking about to Netflix about how they undervalue black women. We all see it. We know women are underpaid. And y'all know me, I'm not into this male-woman divide. We black man and black woman. Black man, black woman, black child. That's the Holy Trinity. We all on the same level. Black man, woman, and child. That's God, and God is producing a God. We in this shit together. I'm not for the gender divide stuff. That's why I've been very cautious about even talking about her speaking for women. But in this case, she has a definite gripe. Now, when the WNBA talk about being underpaid, now it's like, all right, y'all need to chill. Don't nobody watch y'all. All right? Nobody's trying to see layups getting shot all game. Man, we want to, I can't, a little bit too far the WNBA. Nobody watches y'all. But in entertainment, women got fans just like men got fans. If Netflix is paying men way up there and black women way down there, that's a problem. So she's speaking up for black women. That's not my business. That's woman business. The only thing I can say is, yeah, Netflix, you probably do need to pay them more. It's Netflix money, it ain't mine. Again, like I just said, Netflix just had its highest grossing quarter in Netflix history and still raised prices on our asses. While DL Hughley ain't say nothing about that, did he? Have you heard DL go on a whole public tirade, a whole rant about how Netflix is making money hand over fist and they want to stop us from sharing our password? And they want to stop us? And they want to raise the price? Did he go in on that? We don't talk about women's shit, men. So DL Hughley has gone overboard and out the way to shit on Monique. And really to shit on anything black people got going on. Notice that anytime black people got some serious shit going on, DL, when I'll never forget when California announced that it's going to make reparations lineage based, DL Hughley posted that and was like, and had a little bit of slick shit to say. He didn't go all the way. I think, well, he may have on Twitter. He got me blocked. I don't know. But on Instagram, he had you could tell he put the little eyes up and put the eye emoji and put the HMMMMMM was his hashtag. And you know, as this gets closer, he's going to have more to say about it. Yeah, he was definitely, old head dudes, he was careful. He was definitely being careful. So DL Hughley he doesn't have anything positive to say. He doesn't do anything supportive. He only supports the Democrats and himself. His character's so low, he doesn't protect his own family. And Monique went on stage and aired all that shit out. And it was funny while she did it. And it was funny while she did it. And she did it right in front of you, with you having the mic to go right behind her. And here's the thing. If DL Hughley had something outside of this little situation, he would have said it. He didn't. That's why he had to bring up Lee Daniels and Tyler Perry and everybody else. That was the most Monique ever made me laugh when she went in on DL Hughley. That woman ain't never made me laugh so hard in my life. The only thing I really like about from Monique before all this was Welcome Home Roscoe Jenkins and that talk show she had on BET for a couple years. Outside of that, like I said, I'm not the biggest Monique fan. But I don't need the perfect messenger because I understand messages. Monique got the message. And she has a very important message that's being delivered through an imperfect being. So you can say whatever ad hominem attacks you want at Monique. Yes, you're right, but it don't change the message. We're all imperfect vessels. But being an imperfect vessel don't mean the message don't get carried. You can find flaws in anything. It's flawed. Your car can have all kinds of flaws. 10 years old, the engine rattling a little bit, but did it get you from point A to point B? Then that's all that matters. Now, if your imperfect car, if you start driving right and then the motherfucker turn left on you without your direction, now it's like, okay, yeah, throw the whole vehicle away. But if the vehicle backfired a couple times, if that fan belt is loose and it's going, the brakes a little bit squeaky, needs an oil change, or for you niggas that's over 60, all change. You ever notice that something about black men? Like when we get around like 55, 60, it's like oil, 50 really, it's like the word oil turns into all. I'm 40, man. My birthday in a couple weeks. I still got about 10 more years of saying toys. Cause niggas, when black men turn 50, 55, we go from toys to toys. Let's get some toys for these kids. I love black men, but we changed how we pronounce that all when we get older. And we're gonna go ahead and get an all change. Fix that all. And give me some new tires too. It don't be tires. Yeah, we gonna get an all change and get them tires too. Yeah. The BF Goodriches. Yeah. I like those are the kind of tires I like them. I like them BF Goodriches. I don't mess with them good yells. No good yell. Just tires and all. That's all I want. Tires and all. That's kind of how we get. I'm sorry, I went off on a tangent. But y'all get what I'm saying. You might need some new tires, some new oil. Your car might need to get washed. You might got bird shit on your car. But did it get you there? That's what matters, right? Were you pulled over on the side of the road? Are you safe? That's how I look at messages. Sometimes the message comes from a vessel that's obese. Sometimes the message comes from a vessel that got buck teeth. Sometimes the message comes from a vessel that got one big titty, one little titty. Biggie Smalls titties. Hey, why is one titty longer than the other titty? But she may have said some wise shit. So what, you gonna throw the message out because she had one titty longer than the other titty? If it's a message that's gonna help you grow in life, if it's a message that's gonna get more money to your job, you got a job, you know the job is protesting, and the lady who started the protest, she got a 42B on her left titty and a 36 triple D on the other titty. Do it matter that she got mismatched titties? Or does it matter that we about to get paid if mismatched titty let it get us to the promised land? What matters really? You got to get past the bullshit. And it's okay to crack jokes. Jokes are fun. I'll never not do that. But we got to get real. We got to get real. Take advice. Look, sometimes kids say some of the realest shit. Are you going to be like, oh, that's a little 8-year-old, man. They ain't got nothing to say, man. They don't know. They ain't got no experience. But how many times have you been doing what you do and your children or a niece or a nephew says something that made you be like, yo, hey, okay. All right. Okay. It happens. But you only receive the message if you're smart enough to have an open mind to pay attention to the message, not the messenger. Somebody says she didn't check nothing. What do you call somebody going on stage in front of you? How's that not checking somebody? You call out the BS and then hand the person you call. Think about how gangster that is. You call somebody out. And after you're done calling them out, calling them everything other than a child of God, you hand them the mic. She didn't go on last. She went on second to last and said, okay, your turn. That's what she did. You right, Bruce. She called him out, then dropped the mic. That's gangster. You right, Quan. But I want to hear you guys' point of view. What's y'all take on this situation? Give me a call, 323-744-7425. 323-744-7425. I want to hear your point of view. Are you stuck on the vessel or the message? Because I always caution people, watch all that looking for the perfect vessel shit. Because people can put on a good act, always. You always gonna have good actors out there. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Oh, what up, Dwan? This old head Deuce. Hold on.
Old head Deuce. What's up, my brother?
Hey, man, what it do, man? You know, I'm a big fan of everything you do, man.
I appreciate that, man.
Oh yeah. But I'm gonna take Monique's side of the coin.
Okay.
Reason being, she ain't never let me down. She ain't never made me raise an eyebrow, nothing. She always come correct with what from her point of view, you know what I mean? Which is usually, she never let me down. It's always been a honest point of view, whether I disagree with her or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
big
giving
fan
you
of the show, man. Happy to talk to you.
I appreciate that, man. You have a good one.
All right.
Yeah. And that's true. Like, when it comes to issues that are public issues, reparations or whatever, Monique stays out of that. I didn't see her speak against Ice Cube. Monique doesn't really do anything to, she for the most part stays out of political stuff. You're right. And somebody made a good point in the chat room. DL keeps talking to Vlad. I'm glad you brought that up, Patrick. Why do you keep going to talking to Vlad about black stuff? I don't trust any nigga that goes to talk to a white boy every other week about what we got going on. But I've been having Vlad blocked for the last 2 years on, so I don't know who he talking to now. But I hear y'all saying he talking to them, so I'm gonna take y'all word for it. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's up, Dwan? My name is Lorenzo. I'm calling from Denver, Colorado.
Lorenzo from Denver. Y'all warm up yet? Is it still cold as hell out there?
It's about 77 today. So
you good?
Yeah, we chilling.
You good. What's on your mind, brother?
Yeah, man. So about the whole Monique DL conflict. First of all, I don't ride with either one of them. A lot of the cats in Hollywood, these entertainer types, they don't really stand on anything. I don't really back DL, nor do I back Monique. But I mean, what I think is that they should have had a roast off, if anything, because they both comedians. So DL should have came out there like a man and battled her.
That's what I said.
Back to the stage, and they go back and forth.
I agree. You're like, she went in 20 minutes on you, bro. You got the mic, nigga. It's comedy. All is fair. Go in.
Exactly. It ain't like she threatened his life or nothing. Okay, yeah, she said something that was tasteless or whatever. But fuck, if that's how she want to get, I understand that he was bound by corporate or whatever. You know, he's a Hollywood dude, so he can't be from the streets or talk like he one of the people no more. He's been whitewashed and everything. But that's what he should have done.
Yeah. Again, a grown man who takes directions. I don't have as much respect for that as I do people who can speak freely. But
have a good one, bro. I just want to get that little 2-piece. I ain't gonna hold your line up.
I appreciate that, brother. You have a good one.
You too.
Yeah, it's comedy, man. You better go out there and say what you gotta say. Oh, I can't say that because I can't go ahead and talk about her because my space masters ain't gonna like it. Okay. Yeah, Dexter in the chat, I agree with you. He didn't say nothing because he didn't have nothing. He didn't say nothing because he didn't have nothing. He shot his load talking to Vlad. That's where DL Hughley got heat. DL got words when he's talking to them white boys. That's when he's on his radio. That's where his heat is. His heat is behind the radio desk, talking down on other black people. That's where his heat is. And that's where my issue is. If DL just did what he did, you know, I ain't gotta like it. We ain't gotta like everybody. That's not the point. But he tends to use his platform to demean what other people have going on and what black society as a whole has going on. So he steps on other people's feet when he does that. When you constantly doing that, you put yourself out there. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's going on, Dwan B? Sincere love to God. Can you hear me good?
What's up, Sincere, my brother? How's it going?
Chilling, man. I knew you was gonna touch this subject, man. It's right up your lane, man.
Yes, sir.
And you right on point with it. As always, you right on point with it, man. My thing is this. You know, if a black person is going in on one of these corporations or a white supremacist entity or whatever, even if you don't agree with them, the most you need to do is just stay quiet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Why you gonna jump in the way of somebody who taking shots at some an entity or person from the dominant society? That don't make no damn sense. You all the way off code with that bullshit. But you know, DL, he a career fuckboy. His whole career he been a fuckboy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's expected of niggas like that, man.
He fits the profile.
For sure.
Man, I appreciate your call,
For
my
sure,
brother.
Man, but
I want to send me
Yes,
some
sir,
more of
you
your
hold it
music,
down.
man.
Oh, I got you, no doubt.
All right, for sure, man.
Appreciate
I
that.
like some of the stuff you had going on, so send me some more stuff.
I got you.
All right, man.
Peace.
Yeah, it's like that's just what it, even when, as much as I talk about white supremacy, if there's a white person that's speaking about pay at a particular job or corporation, I'm not going to go out and be like, well, white people get paid more than us. They do. And they got their own issues. I'm not necessarily going to back their play either, because we generally know when they do things, you know, it's not always with us with us in their best at the highest priority. But I'm not going to say nothing either. Anytime the common person is going up, when I say common person, anytime I see an employee going against an employer, I'm going to stay out of it. You ain't going to never hear me speak up for no employer. May crack a few jokes every now and again, but I ain't going to say you're not justified for going up at an employer. And if I don't like you or if your group has been traditionally negative to my group, then at that point, I'll probably just stay out of it. I'll just probably stay out of it. I won't say anything good or bad. But DL, oh yeah, I forgot about DL going at Kanye. Yeah, DL was going at Kanye. I forgot all about that. See, man, look, y'all in the chat room, I try not to pay attention to this nigga. I do. I pay attention. I swear I'm a Gemini. I pay attention and I don't pay attention at the same time. Every Gemini out there, y'all feel what I'm saying. The rest of y'all, the other 11 houses, y'all, you may get me or you may not. But if you're a Gemini, you feel me. I pay attention and I don't pay attention at the same time. I try not to pay attention to this nigga, but I do because he always coming up at the wrong fucking. Why was he going at Kanye when Kanye was having an issue with his woman and his children? Kanye's woman, Kanye's children. DL Hughley got something to say about that too. He was going at Kanye for talking about Biden too. DL was Joe Biden's lapdog. Playing Joe Biden's boy. So that's what we're here to talk about today. DL Hughley doing that nonsense. I want y'all to look at my music family tree. It will be on sale next week on incenseandashtrays.com. T-shirts, posters, and canvas prints. I'm just waiting to get a proof back from the T-shirt company to make sure the print is right. I think I'm going to upgrade the quality of these T-shirts. I found a different T-shirt that's of a higher quality. I'm waiting to get an example back before I put it out there, but yeah, tune into my music family tree series that I'm doing. I'm taking the history of music back to the 1600s. Black American music here in North America for the last 400 years. I'm taking you back to the 1700s. We're showing you how jazz grew, how the blues and the jazz grew into soul, rock and roll, R&B, disco, funk, and hip hop. How black music has affected the world. No one has ever given a detailed analysis on black music from the United States of America. We don't give ourselves enough credit. Every time we do something great, they want to contribute it to Africa or say it's because the Europeans mixed with the black people and blah, 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 blah. It's always, our genius always has to be diluted with someone else. My series on the Black American music family is our genius getting 100% of the credit it deserves. How we started and where we are now. Also, incenseandashtrays.com, bookmark that. It's going to be live music media blog site where we are highlighting the great artists of today that do music right with soul. And we're highlighting the past and the great music that got us here. I done put my heart and soul into this. I know I told y'all like 6 months ago this was coming out. But I had to make it right. And I'm still editing it. Because we've done so much that's led to so much greatness. So for those of you music heads and those of you who care a lot about our history, you follow Incense and Ashtrays on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, here on this very YouTube channel, Mixcloud, Dwan B. Breaking down where the music came from and where it's going. You dig? I appreciate that, old head Deuce. We're here for that. And also, as we in today's discussion, we're here to talk, Monique, at the end of the day, it's not about the person. It's about what they stand for. It's about what the issue is. Monique has taken arrows thrown her way by DL Hughley for years and years and years and years. And she decided to fight back. And she did it in front of him. And she did it publicly the same way he's aired her out over the last however many years publicly. DL Hughley has been someone who's publicly undermined the progress of black people, someone who's publicly undermined other black individuals, whether that be Kanye and his marriage, Ice Cube and his political questioning of what's going on, Monique and her contract. He's someone that has a history of undermining. He got publicly checked. And I think this is the vision for where we're going in the future. If I were to put my future goggles on, if I were to say, if I were to try to put my Miss Cleo hat on and try to predict what's going to happen moving forward, my prediction is this. You're going to see more of the bootleg class getting called out. Because black Americans, we're tired. We're tired of these people, these Oprahs, these DLs, these people who get a white check to undermine what other black people are doing. We're tired of it. And more people are growing tired of it. More and more people are growing tired of this behavior. What Monique is doing is just going to embolden more people to speak up for what they feel is right. You're not born to be somebody else's slave. You're not born to be somebody who's dictated to. You're not born for that. You're born to create your own reality. You're born to get the best out of life. You're born to experience life at its fullest, most grand scale ever. That's what you're here for. You're here to live out your dreams. You're here to live life on the highest level you're to live it. And when you go and live, and when you get into living your best life, you're going to have your DL Hughleys. You're going to have these people who are miserable, who use their mics and use their platforms to take digs at you for doing what you feel is best. Your DL Hughley may not be on TV. Your DL Hughley may be a cousin of yours. Someone that you thought was a friend of yours, but they're really not. Your DL Hughley may be your manager at work. It may be Sister Shirlene at church that won't let you sing lead soprano. Wherever. We all have, when you start to step out on your own, when you start to live life by your terms, when you become vocal about the things that you feel are right, that you feel are justified, you're going to have a DL too. You're going to have a DL too. All right. I want to thank y'all for joining. And remember this, end the show like I always do. There are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages. for those who are willing to pick up the game. So be the best person you can be. Be love. Be kindness. But part of being love and being kind, part of kindness, part of love, is having the courage to step out on your own, no matter how many DL Hughleys are coming at you, and stand for what you believe. My name is Dwan B. I want to thank y'all again. I'm out.